They came without warning. The massive alien ships darkened Earth's skies like metallic clouds, their smooth surfaces reflecting the panicked faces of billions below. Military leaders worldwide scrambled their forces, but modern weapons bounced off the invaders' shields like raindrops on a window. Tom Baker, a janitor at the Pentagon, watched through a dusty window as the first energy beam struck Washington, D.C. The blast turned the Capitol into ash within seconds. His hands trembled as he pulled out his phone to call his wife one last time. But the networks were already dead. Around the world, similar scenes played out. London fell in minutes. Moscow crumbled under sustained fire. Beijing's defensive systems failed before they could even lock onto their targets. The aliens coordinated their attacks with cold efficiency, striking military installations first, then government centers, and finally population hubs. In the chaos, only a select few knew about Project Winter Shield. Deep beneath the Arctic ice, hidden from even most world leaders, lay humanity's final insurance policy. As reports of destruction poured in, Base Commander Jack Stone initiated emergency protocols. His weather-beaten face showed no emotion as he typed in the final command sequence. All personnel, prepare for deep sleep. May God have mercy on those above. His voice echoed through the facility's speakers. The base's 200 occupants, each one enhanced, trained, and prepared for this exact scenario, moved to their designated cryo chambers. Above ground, the aliens deployed their second wave. Green gas clouds descended from their ships, choking the life from every human they touched. Those who survived the initial attacks fell silent, their bodies crumpling in streets, homes, and shelters. Inside a news station in rural Idaho, reporter Mary White broadcast humanity's final message. To anyone who survives, remember who we were. Remember what they did. We may fall today, but humanity's spirit. The transmission cut off mid-sentence. Within 72 hours, surface civilization ceased to exist. The invaders methodically swept each continent, using advanced sensors to track down survivors. Underground bunkers offered no protection against their scanning technology. Only the Arctic facility, shielded by experimental technology and miles of special ice, remained undetected. The aliens celebrated their victory, broadcasting messages across the galaxy. Earth has been cleansed. The troublesome humans are no more. Let their fate serve as a warning to other aggressive species. But deep under the ice, within the Winter Shield facility, 200 cryo chambers hummed quietly. Their occupants slept, their enhanced bodies and minds preserved, waiting for the right moment. The facility's AI continued its silent vigil, monitoring the situation above through well-hidden sensors. In his chamber, Commander Stone dreamed of revenge. His last conscious thought before the deep sleep took him was a memory of his daughter's laugh. The aliens thought they had eliminated humanity's warriors. They didn't realize they had just activated humanity's most dangerous weapon, soldiers with nothing left to lose. The fall was complete. But beneath the Arctic ice, humanity's counterattack waited in frozen silence. Would you like me to continue with Part 2, or would you like any adjustments to Part 1? The alien colonists moved into Earth's empty cities like tourists exploring ancient ruins. Their tall, slender forms glided through abandoned streets, their soft blue skin reflecting sunlight as they cataloged their prize. Commander Red-Eye, named by his subordinates for the distinctive crimson sensor on his forehead, stood atop the former Empire State Building, surveying his new domain. Such a waste, he murmured, watching his workers clear away the last human bodies. They could have joined us peacefully. His species, the Highborn, had evolved beyond violence centuries ago. Their superior technology and peaceful nature had earned them leadership of the Galactic Alliance. But humans had been different. Scans showed their entire history was filled with conflict. The Highborn Council had decided Earth's inhabitants were too dangerous to join galactic society. Better to eliminate the threat now than wait for humans to develop space travel and spread their violence to the stars. Worker teams moved through the cities, converting human structures into more efficient designs. They had no need for stairs or elevators. Their gravity control technology let them float effortlessly between floors. Human monuments were replaced with crystal gardens. Weapons factories became meditation centers. "Sir," a junior officer approached Red Eye. "We've finished converting the last military base, but we found something strange." He held up a tattered book, a human military manual. Their warriors trained constantly for combat. They seemed to enjoy it. Red Eye shuddered. The highborn had evolved past their aggressive instincts. Their bodies were built for thought and creation, not conflict. Even their security forces relied entirely on automated systems and energy shields. The idea of training for physical combat seemed primitive and horrifying. In what was once Central Park, the aliens built their primary Earth colony. Crystal spires rose into the clouds, housing thousands of settler families. Children floated between buildings, playing games with projected light. The highborn considered Earth a paradise, rich resources, beautiful landscapes, and now finally peaceful. But they made mistakes. Their sensors, calibrated to detect active technology, missed the dormant systems buried in the Arctic. Their historical analysis focused on human violence, but overlooked human determination. Most importantly, they didn't understand that peaceful evolution had come at a cost. They had lost the ability to recognize true threats. "The human question is settled," Red Eye announced in his monthly report to the Council. "Earth is secure. Our colonists are thriving. In a few generations, this will be remembered as the moment we prevented a violent species from threatening galactic peace." The Council approved his report with their customary gentle waves of colored light. None of them questioned why humans had built such a massive military. None wondered about the gaps in their sensor readings near the poles. The highborn's greatest strength, their absolute devotion to peace, had become their greatest weakness. As Red Eye composed his next report, a small warning light flashed in the colony's security system. A momentary energy spike near the Arctic Circle. The automated system, designed for a peaceful society, dismissed it as a natural phenomenon. The highborn's victory seemed complete, but they had no concept of the storm that was about to break their perfect peace. "Would you like me to continue with Part 3, or would you like any adjustments to Part 2? Deep beneath the Arctic ice, lights flickered to life for the first time in years. The base's AI system, dubbed Guardian, registered optimal awakening conditions. Outside temperatures, alien patrol patterns, and power reserves had finally aligned. Time to wake the sleepers. Steam hissed from the first cryo chamber as the revival process began. Inside, Commander Stone's enhanced body responded instantly to the awakening chemicals. His eyes snapped open, cybernetic implants already processing the situation. Unlike natural sleep, there were no moments of confusion. The soldier's mind was combat-ready before his feet touched the floor. "Status report," he commanded, his voice rough from disuse. Guardian's holographic interface appeared before him, showing decades of collected data. Stone's enhanced brain processed it all in seconds. His jaw tightened at the images of alien cities built over human graves. "Beginning mass revival sequence," Guardian announced. Throughout the facility, 200 chambers activated in careful sequence. Each pod contained a soldier specifically chosen and enhanced for this scenario. Their bodies had been strengthened, reflexes enhanced, and minds upgraded with combat databases. Major Walker, Stone's second in command, emerged from her chamber looking like she'd just taken a nap rather than a years-long sleep. Her enhanced eyes glowed slightly in the dim light as systems came online. "How many survived up there?" she asked, already knowing the answer. "None," Stone replied. "Surface population is 0. All human. But we have company." He projected a hologram showing the alien colonists. "They call themselves the Highborn. Peaceful species, no natural combat abilities. Rely completely on technology." More soldiers emerged, each one a masterpiece of human engineering. Their muscles were woven with carbon fiber, their bones reinforced with synthetic diamond. Neural processors gave them split-second reaction times. They were humanity's last card, held in reserve for exactly this scenario. In the base's armory, weapons designed specifically for this moment waited. Unlike regular military gear, these had been built to work even after decades in storage. Plasma rifles, stealth suits, and tactical nukes, small enough to fit in a pocket. Humanity's darkest ingenuity preserved in perfect condition. First priority is intelligence gathering, Stone announced to his assembled troops. We need to understand their weaknesses. Second priority is securing our backup facilities. Third, he paused, looking at each face in turn. Third is making them regret ever finding Earth. The soldiers moved with perfect coordination, preparing for their first surface mission. Their training had covered every scenario, their bodies engineered to survive in any environment. They were no longer just human. They were humanity's revenge given form. Guardian sensors detected the first alien patrol passing overhead. The alien scanners, looking for signs of advanced technology, failed to penetrate the base's passive shielding. They never noticed the predators awakening beneath their feet. Remember, Stone said as the first team prepared to leave, we're not just soldiers anymore. We're all that's left of humanity. Make every shot count. The Arctic ice held its secrets for years. Now it was ready to reveal them, one nightmare at a time. Would you like me to continue with Part 4, or would you like any adjustments to Part 3? The first strike came at midnight. 3 enhanced soldiers, their stealth suits blending perfectly with the darkness, approached an alien power station outside former New York. The guards never saw them. Their sensors designed for active threats, not the near-invisible specters that slipped past their defenses. Sergeant Wolf, leading the strike team, placed tiny charges at key points. His enhanced vision identified structural weaknesses the aliens hadn't even considered. The Highborn built everything for peace and efficiency, never thinking about defending against sabotage. Charges set, he whispered into his neural comm. Back in the Arctic base, Commander Stone watched through Wolf's enhanced eyes. Permission to proceed. Granted. Show them what we can do. The explosions were precisely calculated. Not massive, destructive blasts, but strategic hits that cascaded through the station's systems. Within minutes, power failed across half the alien city. In the confusion that followed, no one noticed the 3 shadows slipping away, leaving behind only a single mark carved into the station's wall, a human handprint. The Highborn response was exactly what Stone had predicted. They increased automated security, but never posted actual guards. Their peaceful nature made them incapable of understanding the threat they faced. They looked for malfunctions, for system errors, for anything except what it really was: hunters in the dark. More strikes followed. A communications hub in former Berlin went dark. Transport systems in Beijing stopped working. Food processing centers across North America reported mysterious failures. Each incident seemed isolated, technical problems that could happen to anyone, but each bore the same signature, the handprint that began appearing in alien nightmares. Red Eye called an emergency meeting of colony leaders. Our systems are failing, he admitted, his usual calm shaken. But our scans show no hostile forces, no advanced technology. No. An aide interrupted with urgent news. Their main defensive shield generator had just gone offline. As the leaders rushed to respond, none of them noticed the small device attached to their meeting room's wall. Inside the Arctic base, Stone and his officers listened to every word. They still think they're fighting machines, Major Walker said, cleaning her plasma rifle after returning from another successful mission. They can't imagine that we're actually out there, in person, hitting them where it hurts. The super soldiers moved like ghosts through alien territory, their enhanced bodies allowing them to disappear into any terrain. They could hold positions for days without food or rest, swim through frozen oceans, or cross burning deserts. Each one carried enough firepower to level a small city, but their true weapon was their patience. Stone studied the holographic map showing their progress. Small lights marked each successful strike, forming a pattern only he could see. The aliens saw random attacks. He saw a noose slowly tightening around their main colonies. "Commence Phase 2, he ordered. "It's time to let them know who they're really fighting." In their crystal cities, the Highborn continued to search for technological solutions to their problems. They never thought to look for the real threat, the shadows moving ever closer, guided by minds engineered for the perfect revenge. Would you like me to continue with Part 5, or would you like any adjustments to Part 4? Fear began spreading through the alien colonies like a virus. Children refused to sleep near windows. Workers requested transfers to other planets. Even the usually calm Highborn leaders started jumping at shadows. In what was once Times Square, a young alien scientist named Blue Spark huddled over his datapad. "Another attack," he reported, hands shaking. This time they left something behind. On his screen, security footage showed a clear message carved into a wall. "Humanity lives." The message spread faster than the Highborn could censor it. In every colony, whispers began. Stories of unstoppable warriors emerging from the ice. Tales of beings that could survive in vacuum, move faster than sensors could track, and disappear like smoke. "Impossible," Red Eye declared at an emergency council meeting. "We eliminated all humans. Our scans proved it." But his voice trembled as he spoke. On his desk sat a piece of human military hardware, recovered from their latest security breach. It looked centuries ahead of what humans should have possessed. Underground bunkers, hidden during the initial invasion, began opening across the planet. Each one contained weapons and technology far beyond what the aliens had expected from humanity. The Highborn's confidence crumbled as they realized how badly they had underestimated their victims. "They're not just surviving," Blue Spark told his superior, examining data from recent attacks. "They're hunting us, learning our weaknesses. These aren't random strikes. They're testing us." He was right. Each raid taught the super soldiers more about their enemy. The Highborn's reliance on technology made them predictable. Their peaceful nature made them hesitate. Their automated defenses had patterns that enhanced minds could easily exploit. In the Arctic base, Commander Stone watched satisfaction spread through his troops. "Show me today's results," he ordered. Guardian displayed footage from across the globe. Alien ships grounded by mysterious failures, defense systems turning themselves off, and most importantly, the growing panic in their enemies' eyes. "The Highborn are requesting reinforcements from their homeworld," Major Walker reported, smiling coldly. "They're starting to understand what they're facing, but they still don't know about the surprises we left in their communication channels." Every message the aliens sent carried hidden human code, spreading through their networks like a silent plague. When the time came, humanity would have control of every system the Highborn relied on. A small alien child, looking through historical records, asked her parent a question. "Why did we kill the humans?" The parent had no answer. The Highborn had attacked out of fear of human violence, but in doing so, they had created something far more dangerous, humans with nothing left to lose, and the tools to make their enemies pay. Stone stood before a hologram of Earth, watching alien ships frantically patrolling empty skies. They were looking in the wrong direction. The threat wasn't coming from above. It was rising from below, from the ice and darkness, born from humanity's last and greatest achievement. Soldiers engineered not just to survive, but to win at any cost. "Would you like me to continue with Part 6, or would you like any adjustments to Part 5? The time for shadows and secrets was over. Commander Stone gave the order that every super soldier had been waiting for. Full deployment. Show them what we really are. Across the globe, 200 enhanced warriors emerged into daylight. Their stealth suits shifted to combat mode, revealing armor that made them look more machine than human. Each soldier carried weapons specifically designed to tear through highborn defenses. The first major battle began in Moscow. A squad of 10 super soldiers walked openly down the main street toward the alien government center. Automated defense systems activated, energy weapons powering up to full strength. The aliens watched through their cameras, expecting the intruders to fall instantly. Instead, the impossible happened. The soldiers didn't dodge. They didn't run. Their enhanced bodies simply absorbed the energy blasts, their armor converting the attacks into power for their own weapons. Leading the squad, Major Walker smiled as her power gauge reached maximum. "Thank you for the charge," she said over the public communication channels, letting the aliens hear a human voice for the first time in years. Then she opened fire. The battle lasted exactly 3 minutes. When it ended, the largest alien administrative center on Earth lay in ruins. Not a single human soldier had fallen. The Highborn finally understood what they were facing. Not just survivors, but weapons in human form. Red Eye watched the security feeds in horror as more soldiers appeared in every major city. Their movements were perfectly coordinated, their attacks precisely timed. "How?" he demanded. "How did they survive? How did they become this?" The answer came from Commander Stone himself, his message broadcasting on all frequencies. "You thought you killed us all, but humans plan for failure. We build back doors. We prepare for the worst. Everything you see now, we created at the moment we realized we weren't alone in the universe. You weren't our first contact. You were our final exam." Alien ships tried to escape Earth's atmosphere. They discovered too late that human codes had infected their navigation systems. Some crashed. Others found themselves landing right in the middle of waiting super soldier squadrons. In the Arctic base, Guardian displayed a real-time map of the counterattack. Green lights showed human victory spreading like a wave across the planet. Red Eye's personal command center fell in less than 5 minutes. The crystal spires of New York crumbled as precision strikes hit their foundations. "Send the message," Stone ordered. Across the galaxy, every highborn communication device received the same broadcast. Footage of their peaceful species destroying Earth, followed by scenes of today's revenge. A young alien officer, watching his defenses fall, asked the question that would haunt his people forever. What did we create when we killed their world? The answer walked through the ruins of his city. Human warriors engineered beyond anything the peaceful highborn could comprehend. They had wanted to prevent humanity from becoming a threat. Instead, they had forced humanity to become something far more dangerous. Perfect survivors, perfect soldiers, perfect vengeance. Would you like me to continue with Part 7, or would you like any adjustments to Part 6? Commander Stone walked into the Highborn's main council chamber, his armored boots leaving marks on their perfect crystal floor. Behind him, Major Walker and Sergeant Wolf kept their weapons trained on the alien leaders. None of the Highborn moved. Their peaceful evolution had left them unable to even consider physical resistance. "Let me show you something," Stone said, his enhanced voice carrying to every corner of the room. He projected a hologram showing the Arctic facility. "While you celebrated our extinction, we slept. Not in fear, but in preparation. Every second of cold sleep was spent upgrading our minds, improving our bodies." Red Eye, now a prisoner in his own command center, watched with growing horror as Stone revealed more images. Laboratories where humans had engineered themselves into living weapons. Training grounds where they had prepared for decades of warfare. Storage facilities filled with technology that made highborn weapons look like toys. "We knew someone would come," Stone continued. "We knew they might be stronger, faster, more advanced. So we made ourselves better. Every soldier you see wasn't just trained. They were rebuilt, reborn, reprogrammed for one purpose." Major Walker stepped forward, her armor retracting to show the complex machinery merged with her flesh. "You thought humans were violent before. You forced us to become something new. Something that doesn't need sleep, doesn't feel fear, doesn't know how to stop." The Highborn Council watched in silence as more super soldiers entered the chamber. Each one was a perfect fusion of human determination and advanced technology. Their enhanced bodies could heal from almost any wound. Their minds could process information faster than highborn computers. "Here's your choice," Stone announced. "Complete surrender or complete extinction. Unlike you, we understand both peace and war. We can do either. Choose carefully." Blue Spark, the young scientist, spoke up from among the council members. "But why? Why prepare for war before even meeting other species?" Stone's laugh was cold. "Because of exactly what you did. You came in peace, decided we were too violent, and tried to wipe us out. We knew someone would. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our violence. It's our ability to prepare for the worst." Through secured channels, reports came in from around the world. Every alien stronghold had fallen. Their ships were grounded, their weapons disabled, their communications under human control. In less than a day, the super soldiers had dismantled an empire that controlled the planet for years. "Your civilization calls itself peaceful," Stone said to the defeated council. "But you committed genocide without hesitation. We're called violent, but we gave you a chance to surrender. Think about that in the prison cells you're about to call home." As alien leaders were led away, Major Walker approached Stone. "Sir, incoming transmission from deep space. Other species under highborn control are asking for help. They heard our broadcast." Stone smiled for the first time in years. "Tell them help is coming. Humanity just became the galaxy's liberation force. Would you like me to continue with Part 8, or would you like any adjustments to Part 7? The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Humanity, the species everyone thought extinct, had not only survived but defeated the mighty highborn. The super soldiers' victory broadcast reached every corner of alien space, and oppressed species watched with growing hope. On a mining colony orbiting a distant star, slaves from a dozen different species gathered around smuggled screens. They watched enhanced humans tear through highborn defenses like paper. "If they can do it," whispered a worker with 4 arms, "so can we." Commander Stone stood on the deck of a captured highborn ship, now retrofitted with human technology. Around him, his soldiers prepared for their first off-world mission. "Guardian," he called, "show me the resistance signals." The AI displayed a map of the galaxy. Red dots showed locations where other species had begun rising against their highborn masters. The dots multiplied by the hour as more colonies found their courage. "They're not soldiers," Major Walker noted, watching alien workers overpower their surprised overlords. "But they have something better. They have hope. The highborn ruled through fear and false peace. We just showed the galaxy that they can be beaten." The super soldiers split into teams, each one heading to a different rebellion. Their enhanced bodies could adapt to any planet's gravity. Their lungs could process any breathable atmosphere. Every team carried weapons and technology to share with the resistance fighters. On the desert world of a distant sun, Sergeant Wolf led the first training session for alien rebels. "The highborn think they evolved beyond violence," he told the gathered crowd. "That makes them predictable. Their automated defenses have patterns. Their leaders can't handle real combat. You don't need to be super soldiers. You just need to be brave." The revolution spread faster than anyone expected. The highborn, faced with fighting on 1,000 fronts, began to crumble. Their peaceful nature had left them unable to comprehend the chaos of real warfare. Each defeat sent more of their leaders running for hidden bunkers. Back on Earth, Stone received messages from across the stars. Species he'd never heard of pledged their support to humanity. Former slaves offered their knowledge of highborn technology. Rebel groups requested human advisors and training. "We didn't just start a revolution," Stone told his officers. "We became a symbol. Every species the highborn called too violent is looking to us now. They're all tired of being told that peace means submission." Major Walker watched as another highborn colony fell to local rebels. "They created their worst nightmare," she said. "They wanted to prevent violence by killing humans. Instead, they turned us into the perfect weapons and gave everyone a reason to fight." The super soldiers, created to defend Earth, found themselves teaching others to defend their own worlds. Humanity's enhanced warriors became legends, appearing wherever rebellion needed support, turning desperate last stands into victories. In his prison cell, Red Eye finally understood their greatest mistake. The Highborn had tried to eliminate humanity to preserve peace. Instead, they had awakened something that would remake the galaxy: the unbreakable human spirit, enhanced by technology and tempered by loss. Would you like me to continue with Part 9, or would you like any adjustments to Part 8? 1 year after humanity's return, Earth looked very different. The crystal spires of highborn cities had been replaced with new human structures, buildings that honored the past while embracing the future. In Central Park, where alien gardens once grew, a massive memorial listed the names of billions lost to the invasion. Commander Stone stood in the rebuilt Pentagon, looking at a hologram of the galaxy. Green lights showed freed worlds, blue marked new allies, and red indicated the few remaining highborn strongholds. Most had surrendered once they realized their defeat was inevitable. "Guardian," he called, "begin the revival sequence." Deep beneath the Arctic ice, in chambers even the super soldiers hadn't known about, something precious stirred to life. Human DNA, preserved from millions of volunteers before the invasion, began its carefully planned rebirth. The hidden bunkers hadn't just protected warriors, they had saved humanity's future. "The first new children will be born within a month," Major Walker reported, her enhanced eyes scanning medical data. "The genetic banks survived perfectly. We can rebuild our population, bring back everything we lost." But Earth's new humans wouldn't be alone. Representatives from dozens of alien species had come to help rebuild. Some brought technology, others shared knowledge, and many simply wanted to work alongside the legendary super soldiers who had freed them. In what was once Times Square, a group of alien children played with the first human child born after liberation. Their parents watched in amazement as ancient enemies became childhood friends. The peace the Highborn had tried to force through violence came naturally once their control was broken. "We're receiving another diplomatic request," Sergeant Wolf announced. 3 more species want to join the alliance. The human-led coalition of free worlds grew stronger each day. Former slaves became equals, sharing their unique strengths and learning from each other. Stone walked through the New Earth Defense Academy, where young beings from across the galaxy trained together. Some learned combat from human instructors, while super soldiers studied alien technologies and cultures. Everyone learned the most important lesson: true peace comes from strength and understanding, not submission. In his new office atop the Alliance headquarters, Stone activated a special hologram. The faces of his fallen comrades, the billions lost to the invasion, floated before him. "We did it," he whispered. "We not only survived, we made something better." Major Walker entered with the latest reports. "The last highborn holdout just surrendered. The medical teams have successfully adapted our enhancement procedures for other species. And sir," she paused, smiling, "the first post-war generation is showing signs of natural evolution. They're stronger, faster, smarter, but they kept their humanity." As the sun set on the new Earth, ships from 100 worlds filled the skies. But unlike the dark day of invasion, these visitors came in peace, real peace built on respect and alliance, not fear and control. The super soldiers, created for war, had become teachers of a better way. Humanity had done more than survive. They had turned extinction into evolution, defeat into victory, and enemies into allies. The galaxy would never forget the lesson. Never underestimate the human spirit, for it grows strongest when faced with destruction. This marks the end of our story. Would you like me to make any adjustments to this final part?